Breaking news update. Wannabe Trump assassin's final internet search was for inappropriate sexual content. Only other recent activity on phone was texts from gunman's parents asking about his whereabouts. I want to break this story down, but you guys have been relentlessly asking for updates on Thomas Matthew Crooks, the 21-year-old shooter who tried to assassinate former President Donald Trump at a rally on Saturday. Investigators are finally piecing the story together between Thomas Matthew Crooks' parents filing a missing persons report after they saw him leave with his Fowler's rifle and didn't hear from him for hours, to Thomas Matthew Crooks searching for the Democratic National Convention, searching pictures of Fani Willis, searching for Joe Biden events, shows them that he was looking to target any sort of political event, anyone across the aisle, not just a Republican event. They immediately drew this narrative that Thomas Matthew Crooks was some wicked liberal out to get Donald Trump, but that was immediately dispelled as the investigation unraveled. That shows the importance of not jumping to conclusions. Republicans did, and they immediately had their narrative dispelled. So I want to break down this article. It says, the final internet search of wannabe Trump assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks was for porn, a law enforcement official has told the Daily Beast. The FBI's Operational Technology Division in Quantico, Virginia, finally accessed the gunman's encrypted Samsung phone after it was flown on an FBI plane from the Pittsburgh field office, where attempts to access its contents failed. And I want to break down the timeline really quickly because it's important to understand how this unraveled. At 5:51 p.m., the Secret Service is notified of a suspicious person. That is our wannabe shooter. At 5:52 p.m., the Secret Service shares information about suspicious person. About 11 minutes later, at 6:03 p.m., Trump takes the stage. 6:09 p.m., people alert officers to the gunman. They were yelling out, "There is a gunman on the roof." At 6:11, in the next 10 seconds, an officer walks around the building and people spot the shooter and start to flee. They start to run. We've seen those videos. About 10 seconds later, the first shot's fired. 1 second later, 2 more shots are fired. Within that 30 seconds, the shooter was eliminated. And then less than a minute later, Trump leaves the rally site. Secret Service got him out quickly, as they should. This article continues. A law enforcement official told the outlet that the only other recent activity on the gunman's phone was texts from his parents asking about his whereabouts. The texts from Crooks' parents started about 1 p.m. and continued during the afternoon, according to the report. So as you can imagine, if they started to get suspicious around noon to 1 p.m. and they didn't hear anything for 4 or 5 hours, and they know that their son with a depressive disorder left with the gun, that is why they filed the report. They reportedly thought he had gone to the shooting range. Instead, he had taken his father's AR-style rifle to try to assassinate Donald Trump. The former president was shot in the ear at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, but survived the attack. 2 other men were injured during the attack, and Crooks was killed by a Secret Service sniper. The FBI has mostly finished its review of the phone's contents and is now working on the gunman's laptop and several hard drives that were found in his bedroom. No motive for the shooting has been found, and Crooks had no known psychiatric disorders, but again, they had found searches for depressive disorders, and they had found searches of Ethan Crumbly, another mass shooter who previously got arrested and had his parents arrested, so maybe Thomas Matthew Crooks was planning on his parents getting arrested. And the Republicans' response to this has been absolutely disgusting. I touched on it for a second earlier, but I want to come back to it and just point out that J.D. Vance, the Republican presidential nominee, came out literally 45 minutes after the shooting happened and blamed it on President Biden. Immediately blamed it on President Biden with no proof. And as the investigation is unraveled, as the investigation has gone on, Republicans' narratives have been completely dispelled. Every step of the way, we find out that they are liars. That's why I was urging you guys not to jump to conclusions the day after, because we want the investigation to unravel. For example, a disgusting remark came from Blair White, who said, "Donald Trump took a bullet for this country. If you're voting for anyone else, you can go F yourself. That's where I'm at." And Elvis Draken on Twitter said, "I took bullets for this country. I took IEDs for this country. I took 4 stabbings, all in Afghanistan, for this country. F you and F him too. The only thing he took for America was advantage of the dumb Fs like you and the entire nation." That's completely true. Blair White is a trans woman who is voting against her own self-interest, who shows up to the RNC to advocate for a party that wants to strip away her most fundamental rights, whether that is access to healthcare, or now that she's a woman, that is an abortion. It is absolutely disgusting that people will vote against their own interests and actually use their platform to advocate against the best interests of their minority group. We have watched Republicans repeatedly discredit themselves over the years by floating a conspiracy theory that will be proven wrong only days later, but people hold Democrats and Republicans to different standards. They treat Republicans with kid gloves while holding Democrats to an impossibly high standard. For example, Dr. Fauci can get one little fact wrong and then correct himself immediately, but people will for months say that he is a liar. Meanwhile, Donald Trump repeatedly lies. Republicans repeatedly float conspiracy theories that the FBI proves wrong as the investigation unravels, as the investigation continues, and nobody cares. There are no consequences when Republicans lie, whereas if a Democrat floats a conspiracy theory and that conspiracy theory is proven wrong, they will be voted out. They will be voted out immediately. Think about Jamal Bowman, who was voted out for a multitude of reasons, but because people didn't like him floating conspiracy theories. Meanwhile, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene have free reign to say whatever they want about Jewish space lasers. It goes back to my point, the sides are held to different standards, and we need to fix that. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, have a great day.